Hey everybody, I'm Two-Tone the Artist.
And I'm Mitch the Peach.
Welcome back to the Hills Are Silent podcast, where we chop it up about the games of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. It's been a great week. Let's get started. Mitch, I've been playing some games. You've been playing some games. But what you been playing, man?
Yeah, I've been playing my favorite gaming franchise. I can call it that. It definitely is my favorite gaming franchise. A second, close to Silent Hill, as we've named our podcast after. But I've been playing Halo Reach via the Master Chief Collection. And Halo Reach is the prequel to Halo 1. And I had never finished the campaign before, which I was very shocked that I had never done it. So I was playing some multiplayer on Master Chief, and I was like, I need to beat this campaign. It's the only one I've never beaten.
Okay, so hold on a second. So you've beaten all the other ones, right? 2,
Yes.
3, 4, 5, Infinite. Okay.
ODST.
Oh yeah. How could I forget? And okay, now we're gonna get into some obscure ones. What's the RTS one that they came out
Halo
with?
Wars.
Halo Wars.
Beat it.
You beat that?
Mm-hmm.
What about Halo Wars 2?
Beat it.
What about the 2 ones they released on like iPad that they later remastered and re-released on Steam? I can't even remember the names of them.
Was it like Spartan Assault or something like that?
Yeah, it's like Spartan Assault and Spartan Attack or something like that.
I beat one of them.
Okay. Do you remember which one? Was it the first one?
It was the first one. I think it was also on 360 maybe. They also released it on there.
Spartan. I'm trying to find the name of it. Spartan. I remember Spartan Assault. What was the other one?
Halo.
It's like right on the tip of my tongue.
Spartan Strike.
Spartan Strike?
That's what I'm seeing on here, yeah.
Okay. So which one was the first one that came out first?
Spartan Assault.
And that's the one you said you beat?
Yes.
Alright, so you still need to beat Strike. Actually,
Alright.
not to derail things, but how were those games? Because I never played those.
Oh man, it's been so long since I played that Spartan Assault game. I think it was like, oh my, I think it was like one of those where almost like RTS like, but like not, like you're guiding your character to destinations. I'm not sure actually. I'm just BSing. I can't exactly remember.
It says it's a twin stick shooter.
Oh.
So you move your character with one, shoot with the other, analog stick.
Okay, yeah, I'm watching a little video on it, and that, yeah, twin stick. Yes, I remember it now, but I think they were okay. Not super memorable, obviously, because I can't even remember when I played it. But I think it was on at least one of them was on the 360 you could play.
Okay. The interesting thing to me is, okay, it looks like the Wikipedia page for Spartan Assault incorrectly has it listed as having a multiplayer mode, because I can't find any information on the Steam page about it having multiplayer. I think that was like the one reason I never jumped into these, was because every Halo campaign I beat on co-op, and I just assumed that this had co-op as well. I mean, it's a twin stick shooter, why wouldn't it have co-op? Those games can have co-op. And then when I found out it was single player only, I kind of was like, all right, it's less important that I play through these. You're right. The first one originally released on Windows Phone, Xbox One, Xbox 360, and iOS. So yeah, the first one was on 360.
I'm seeing Spartan Strike on Game Pass, so it is one that I could just download and play, so I might have to give it a go.
Is Spartan Assault on Game Pass right now too?
I believe so. Let's see, Spartan.
Because if they're both on Game Pass, yeah, dude, I'll crank through those.
Let's see.
However, Spartan Strike was... Alright, that's interesting. The first one was on... What'd you say?
Both on Game Pass.
Okay, that's interesting. The first one was on 360. The second one, looks like they dropped that because the second one only came out on Windows Phone, and iOS. Surprised it didn't even come to Xbox One. I think it totally could have been a downloadable game.
Well, I think both of them are on Game Pass. There's Spartan Assault, and then what was the other one called again?
Spartan Strike. Curious how long.
It does say you can download both of them on Game Pass.
Okay.
Or if you want to buy them, it's $2.99.
Yeah, I mean, I know they're super cheap. So Halo Spartan Assault on howlongtobeat.com says the main story takes 4 hours, and then Halo Spartan Strike is half an hour longer at 4.5 hours. So yeah, man, those are two quick little twin stick shooters you can knock out. Man, I really wish they were co-op though.
That'd be nice.
Anyway, so you've beaten 1 out of 2 of those. So
yes.
Sounds like you need to beat Spartan Strike, and there's that Halo arcade rail shooter that they have at Dave and Buster's. Man, did you beat that one?
No, I can't say I've beaten that one either. I guess I'm going to Dave and Buster's with some guys. We got to get it done.
Yeah, I remember playing that. I'm not sure if I finished it, which is sad to say because, I mean, those on-rail shooters are typically only like 30 or 40 minutes. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe I didn't have enough credits on my card.
Funny you bring that up. Last night I was actually out at the arcade bar that I usually go to, and I was playing a little Time Crisis at the arcade bar.
Oh, yeah? Which one?
Oh, dude, I don't even remember which one it was, honestly. I had a lot of drinks at that point. Maybe, is it 3? Maybe? Is there, how many are there?
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the main series, and then there's Crisis Zone, which is like a single-player spin-off arcade cabinet that usually has like a MP5 submachine gun as the light gun.
Okay, I'm looking up. I'm wondering if like my arcade bar had like just tells you which one it is.
Yeah, because sometimes they have the list of the games they have on their websites.
Okay, let's see. Chicago Emporium Arcade Bar at Logan Square. Events. Games. They do have the games. Nice. All right. Well, let me link this to you if you want to show the audience the cool spot I go.
Yeah, send it my way. Actually, just tell me the name of it. I'll look it up.
It's EmporiumArcadeBar.com.
EmporiumArcadeBar.com. We're having trouble finding that. It probably misspelled something.
EmporiUM.
Emporium. Location. Chicago.
While you're doing that, I am going down to the T's to see if I can find which Time Crisis.
Arcade. That's what I care about. Games.
Time Crisis 4 is what they have.
Okay. I see. I got time. It says Time Crisis 3 and 4.
Oh, okay. I think I was playing 3 then.
Okay. Yeah, those are like the most common that I see is the 3rd and 4th one. Man, it'd be nice if they had the old classic arcade cabinets for like the first 2, because I never see those in arcades anymore.
Their stuff is kind of breaking down there though, because I was trying to like play Time Crisis, but I really had to stomp on the pedal to get my guy to come out of cover.
Oh,
and that was
damn.
kind of annoying trying to actually, like, I didn't get very far because I couldn't get out of cover ever.
Man, dude.
It's the unfortunate stuff with arcades, man.
Yeah.
As we talked about.
Having been an arcade technician, those machines take a beating, and it takes so much work to keep them up and running. And that's why you never see the older cabinet, or you rarely see the older cabinets anymore, because yeah, they just get beaten into oblivion.
Right.
Well, they got some classics here. I see they got Turtles in Time and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So they got both of the classic arcade ones.
So some of them aren't at the one that I go to. Like, I don't think those Turtles games are at the one. I mean, I've been to a couple of them. So they have like 3 or 4 different locations in Chicago.
You're right. I have it set to all locations. Whoops, my bad. All right, which one's the Chicago one?
They're all Chicago one. So I mean, I've been to a majority. The one I do go to is the Logan Square.
Okay, the
location.
Logan Square one. Got it. Oh, so they have multiple locations in Chicago.
Yes.
Okay, got it. They also have one in New Orleans, apparently.
Oh, really? Wow.
Okay, so yeah, the one you were at only has Time Crisis 3. So that
Okay.
had to have been the one you played.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool,
Yeah,
man.
a lot of pinball machines, you know, some skee balls, and it's a good spot. It's just a great spot to hang out, drink beer, have fun.
Nice. That place sounds awesome. NFL Blitz 99, original NBA Jam, Mortal Kombat 4 and 2, and Killer Instinct. What?
Those are there, yes.
That's all you need.
It is all you need, yes.
Let's see what else they got. Man, they got a ton of stuff.
There's another bar in the same arcade bar in the same neighborhood called Logan Bar, and they have even more games too that are like honestly like that is like straight arcade games. They even have that Killer Queen game that I was talking about, and it's always full when you get there. There's always 2 teams of 5 or 6 playing against each other. It's so cool,
dude. And they have a stand-up arcade cabinet of Crazy Taxi. Whoa, look at that big subwoofer speaker underneath it to just blast that great soundtrack in Crazy Taxi right into your knees while you're playing.
Yeah. Crazy Taxi.
What else they got? Dude, there's one other one I saw that I wanted to mention. They got the classic Alien vs. Predator arcade. You got Bad Dudes. Wow, man, you got some good arcades there that are keeping these classic machines running, hopefully.
Yeah, they're trying. It's, you know, it's tough to keep them up. All right, yeah, we got completely derailed.
Yeah, my bad, man, my bad.
No,
all right,
it's
so
okay.
you got a few more Halos to beat, but anyway, so you decided to finally go back to Halo Reach and beat that campaign.
Yes, finally went back to Reach, beat the campaign, and can say that I absolutely loved it. I mean, I've heard great things about it from so many people. I played it by myself, and we tried to bring you in for the final mission that I had, but for some reason, PC and Xbox don't get along with the Halo campaigns, which I don't quite understand, because we could play multiplayer and firefight fine. So I don't quite get why we couldn't play campaign together.
Yeah, that is weird that we could do like almost everything cross-platform, but as soon as it came to the campaign, it was like, it's a no-go. And yet, like you said, we could do Fire Team, which, how is that any different from the campaign? It's still like us versus the enemies, so that was weird. I wonder if it's all the Halo games on the Master Chief Collection, or if it's just specifically Reach, or just a couple of them.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure.
Anyway, you finished up the campaign. You're playing on heroic difficulty, right?
I was playing on heroic. I feel like that was probably the one I was most comfortable with. I wanted to just go through and beat it but I wanted a little bit of a challenge. I always want a little bit of a challenge with Halo, and I thought that was heroic was the perfect for playing it solo. Go ahead.
Halo Reach is a beautiful game. So it looked good back in the day on the Xbox 360, but being able to have higher resolutions and higher frame rates, it just still blows my mind. Like, we always talk about how great graphics look nowadays, but even back in, I think this came out like 2011 or something, even 12 years ago, everything was super colorful, super detailed. Just an amazing looking game.
Yeah, and then playing it on my 65-inch LG OLED, it was it holds up great. It looked amazing. It was, it was a great campaign to play through. For those who don't know, I said it's a prequel to Halo 1. You play as Noble 6, which is kind of a switch up from a lot of the Halo games. Typically, you are Master Chief. This time, you are just one member, Noble 6, of a team, which is called Noble Team. And you are trying to obviously take down the Covenant and whatnot. And by the end of it, you are trying to save Halsey's research, and so it does not get into the hands of the Covenant, which turns out to be Cortana. Not to be a spoiler or whatnot, but it is the Cortana research that you were trying to save at the end, which I thought is really cool. Yeah, great story. Just, I mean, it's a classic Halo campaign play. Like the character, the whole Noble Six team, they all are different. They all are very different personality wise, but they just design them all really well. Just a great campaign. I cannot say enough good things about it. I think it's probably goes up there in my top three of Halo campaigns that I've played for sure. Even like I don't have any nostalgia for it. I mean, I have nostalgia for the series, but I never played it before. So I mean, I wasn't particularly fond of the Halo Reach multiplayer. Um, so that might have been why I never got around to the campaign, but I'm glad I did now. I thought this was funny. I saw a note. The first in-engine trailer was shown at the 2009 Spike TV Video Game Awards, which is a good old Spike TV. That's always it's a funny one.
Yeah, I remember the first time I played Halo Reach, I actually participated in the multiplayer beta. I don't remember where I heard about it. I think maybe they were advertising it on the Xbox 360 dashboard, or maybe I saw it online. I don't know. But there was some beta you could opt into. And so yeah, I got my hands on the multiplayer before the game was actually released. And I had some fun with it. And then if you participated in the beta, you got like a limited edition outfit or a helmet or something for your Xbox 360 avatar character.
Oh yeah, 360 avatars were great.
So that was cool. And they also gave you something else, I think, for participating in the beta. I don't know. I vaguely remember getting something. Maybe I'm getting confused. Because remember I told you I had a bunch of Xbox 360s get the Red Ring of Death?
Yeah.
I think it's like an I'm sorry gift. They gave me like a free copy of Halo Reach. Yeah, I think that's what I'm thinking
sorry that
of.
you spent so much money on all these Xboxes. Here's a free game that doesn't cover half of what you paid for these.
Yeah, and I think I already had a copy of Halo Reach, so I think I just ended up with 2 copies. But I loved the campaign. You're right. It is one of the better campaigns, and Halo Reach came out at the wrong time. I mean, people were kind of getting burnt out on Halo, and Halo 3 was so incredible. It was like the perfect refinement of that original Halo trilogy formula.
Yep.
Like Halo 1 was amazing, Halo 2 was amazing, and Halo 3 was like the culmination of all of that work into like the perfect, this is what Bungie's Halo is. And then when Halo Reach came out, I think people were pretty burnt out on Halo at that point, and they tried to switch up the formula a lot to keep things fresh. And like you said, you don't play as the Master Chief, which I'm sure a lot of people were ticked off about that. And it just, everything was against it. But yeah, coming back to it today, it's like, holy crap, that was a great game. And it just reminds us how spoiled we are. Because we get great games every day, and we're just like, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. And it's like, dude. And then, yeah, that's what happens. Then 10 years later, you look back on it, and you're like, what was I talking about? That game was amazing. Like, why didn't I give it an honest chance? But
I think you put it well. I think we were talking when we were playing some multiplayer. You're like, they kind of went too much in a Call of Duty route. I think they were trying to keep up with Call of Duty, was really entering into the golden era of Call of Duty at that point. They put some like power-ups in the multiplayer that they're great in the campaign. I love the power-ups that they have in the campaign of Reach, but when it comes to the multiplayer, I think it was just too different for me to enjoy it as much as I liked. I liked that Halo 3, 2, and the original Halo Combat Evolved like formula, and I feel like they just tried to deviate on the multiplayer too much, which turned me off, and tried to compete with Call of Duty with what they were doing. And yeah, but like we said, still a great game. I did look up. It says players who purchased ODST were eligible to participate in the Reach multiplayer beta.
That's what it was. Okay, that's what it was. All right.
Yeah, which I mean, another great campaign. If you've not played Halo ODST, which is a Halo 3 expansion, essentially a campaign expansion, like highly recommend ODST. Again, you do not play as Master Chief, but it's still fantastic. Like they did a great job on that one too. Yeah. Shout out to the Master Chief collection that you can go back. I talked about it last week, but I love that collection, and I never know why I uninstalled it in the first place. I never will uninstall it now. It's just so well put together, and it gives me everything I need in one package. And it's been really cool being able to either play a campaign that I want to go back and play, or Reach that I've never played, and then dive into multiplayer, a customized multiplayer on exactly what I want to play, whether I want to play Capture the Flag Halo 3 or Oddball Halo 2. I mean, it could be very, very specific, and people are still playing it. We had no trouble finding a game on Reach when we were trying. We found a game instantly. So, I mean, like, shout out to them. As we talked about, they had a rocky start. I remember in college when I first got the game, it was a really rocky launch for it, and I was really pissed off because I wanted that nostalgia, and the servers were not great. But, like, it's a ton of work to put all these games in this, like you said last week. And, yeah, shout out to them, man. It's a great collection.
Yeah, it's amazing. All right, man. Anything else on Reach?
Nope. Let's move along. We spent enough time.
All right, so lately I have been playing Skyforce Anniversary on my PlayStation Vita. And I don't know why it's called Anniversary. I guess it's a remake of an older game that I'm not sure of. But it is a shoot 'em up, which is typically not a genre I play. They're just very stressful. It's like an overhead view. Typically shoot 'em ups, it's an overhead view, and you're in some spaceship or something, and it's two-dimensional, and you're just going up constantly, and they're just shooting all these enemies that are coming at you, and they're shooting 1,000,001 bullets at you. So you're simultaneously dodging slow-moving projectiles while also shooting the enemies that are attacking you. So it's weaving and dodging and shooting. It's basically to sum up the gameplay of a shoot 'em up. Sometimes the screen scrolls up, which is called a vertical shooter. Sometimes the screen is scrolling from left to right, which is called a horizontal shooter. I don't know. Some people have their preference. I can play either or. And I do play them occasionally, but it's not my favorite genre. But I just casually installed and tried this game on my Vita, and I immediately got hooked. Sometimes these games can be too chaotic for me, and it's just you're dying too often, or they only give you an opportunity to get hit once or twice and then you're dead. I like this game because they actually give you a full health bar. You can take a couple hits. There's health drops. There's weapon upgrade drops. It just plays very smooth. It's like, to me, the perfect example of a shoot 'em up, or what a shoot 'em up should be. And you basically replay the same levels over and over again because you get money every time you beat a level, and then you'll go to the hangar where you'll spend that money to upgrade your ship, and then once it's upgraded enough, you are then able to beat the next level. Like, you kind of have to do some grinding and redoing the same levels to be able to even beat the later levels. And another challenge is some of the later levels don't unlock unless you've done a bunch of specific tasks on the previous levels. Typically, I don't like that. Typically, in games, I'm like, let me beat the level, move on to the next level. I'm not really an achievement hunter, and when you're baking that into the gameplay to even allow me to progress, I don't really care for that. But I can put up with it for this game because it's pretty fun. And basically, the challenges are typically like beat the whole level without getting hit once. Or you can also rescue people in this game. So maybe you have to rescue all the guys in the level, or completely 100% destroy all the enemies, which can be pretty challenging. But yeah, it's been super fun. It's the great game to just play on a portable handheld because the matches last just a couple of minutes. It's great to just jump in there, play a little bit, and then get back to reality or whatever I'm doing outside of playing the handheld.
It looks graphically really good for, how long it's been out. It looks great.
Yeah, it's very visually pleasing. This says it was released in April 2015. It looks like it was also... I'm playing it on the PlayStation Vita, but it's also on PlayStation 4, I believe Xbox One, and it's definitely on Steam because I'm looking at the Steam page now. And apparently, this company that developed it, apparently there's a sequel that came out in 2017 that I was unaware of called Skyforce Reloaded, which looks more of the same, but that's not a bad thing. This one also has a very positive rating on Steam. And at some point when I finish Skyforce Anniversary, I'm definitely checking out this Skyforce Reloaded.
I'm looking at their Steam page, and it says this game has full controller support, and it shows the Steam controller that I don't think exists anymore. And it says check it out in big picture mode.
Man, I love that when it's just like there's some time capsule in the description that totally dates when the game was released. Because, yeah, that would have been like the height of Valve trying to push those Steam controllers.
Yep.
But, whoa, man, this sequel looks even more hectic. Okay. It's a fine line for me with these shoot-'em-ups of
Sure.
fun and just anxiety-inducing. Anyway, that's what I've been playing lately. So Mitch, I know you got a new television, and I know lately, man, you've been... I know when you were looking for the television, you're like, look, man, I'm either going to get a laptop or a TV. And you came to the conclusion that the TV was a slightly higher priority than getting the laptop.
Yes.
But what happened, man? What happened?
I seem like I can't manage my money. I think that's where like it looks like I spend, and that is not the case. I don't think I've bought upgrades for myself in a very, very long time. I've had this PC since I think I built this PC 5 years ago at this point. And the TV that I had prior to the LG, I had for 10 years. So like, I think I was just due at the right time for some of these upgrades. And so I was perusing the slick deals as I do on a daily basis for some good deals on things that I want or need or whatnot. And I stumbled upon this. It is a laptop, but it's almost like a Surface Pro or tablet. But it is a gaming tablet, but that runs Windows 11 and is pretty beefy for how tiny it is. And I'll actually grab it. I mean, I'm sure you're showing it, but
Yeah, I'm about to pull it up right now.
So I do have it right here as well. I'm sure Michael put it up on the screen, but this is the ASUS or ASUS Flow, I think is which one I got. The Flow? Yeah. And it has a fully detachable keyboard, a touch screen, and you can also play games on it. It's RGB up in here. It's got a kickstand that you set up with because it is kind of operate like a tablet, but it has really good specs on it for how tiny it is, and I couldn't pass it up. So I normally the price is well above $1,000. I want to say 1,000.
Yeah, I've got the listing pulled up on Best
Okay.
Buy, and right now they're selling it for $1,200, and it does say open box from $869.99. But what did you say that you paid for the open box?
I paid $750
Okay.
for the open box excellent. So it was the excellent version of open box, and there was only one in the Chicagoland area, and it was in the South Loop, which is with no traffic. It was about 20 minutes from me. So I usually don't get onto these deals when they happen. I figured, it's probably gone. It's too good to be true. The specs, it makes too much sense for me to get this. But then they saw there was only one left, and I was like, I just hit purchase, and I went and got it. I was like, I couldn't say no to it. Like the specs in the price, like it was just too good of a deal.
And that's what blows my mind. The likelihood, like anytime Slick Deals or any of those websites has a deal on like an open box item, it's like, hey, Best Buy is having this deal on open box of this item. It's like the likelihood of there actually being that item open box at a Best Buy near you is so low that I don't even click on those deals, because I'm like, dude, how? Yeah, it just seems so unlikely. Like, how is it that all of these Best Buys just happen to have all these open boxes of this?
Yeah, I don't get who is like the first person to see this deal and then post it and assume that that same deal is in other Best Buys around the United States.
Right. So when you told me you actually found one, I was like, man, that was meant to be. First of all, that is so cheap for a laptop, especially one with decent specs. So this says it's got a 13.4-inch screen, touch screen, in Intel Core i9. I think when I looked at it earlier, it was the 12th gen. 16 gigabytes of memory, which is good because the first place that all these laptop companies try to cheap out on is the memory. They try to give you like 8 gigabytes of memory. I see so many laptops with great processors, great graphics cards, and then they got 8 gigabytes of memory and a 500 gigabyte SSD, which is that's not enough, man. You need a minimum 16 gigabytes and a minimum of 1 terabyte, in my opinion. So luckily this has that. It has 16 gigabytes and a 1 terabyte. Then it has the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3050 Ti, which is more than enough to run games at decent settings, decent frame rates. And it's not like you're going to be 4K gaming on a 13.4-inch screen. So it definitely can, that graphics card can handle the resolution needed for this screen. Or even if even if you take it with you when you're traveling, and let's say you go to Airbnb and you plug it up to the TV in the living room in the Airbnb or the hotel or whatever, like you could probably still do some decent 1080p gaming on that.
Yeah. Which is what I thought. Like, I'm not going in and I'm playing, AAA titles at 4K graphics on this thing. That's not really my purpose of it. I'm looking for games that I want to play in my Steam backlog that is typically not super graphic demanding. Like, I was actually playing some Psychonauts on it just recently, and it was running great on there. And obviously, I'm playing my card games on it with my Hearthstone and my Marvel Snaps. So, I have a lot of my indie titles or very not graphically demanding stuff that I can play on it. I was actually testing out some Counter-Strike last night too, and it was running really great as well. So I could do some Counter-Strike on the go, which is that's my game. So that's awesome. That's awesome to know. But yeah, really good purchase. I was deciding between the TV and the laptop, but it was too good of a deal to be true. And like you said, it was meant to be when there was only one open box 20 minutes away. So I went for it. I'm very pleased, and I will not be upgrading anything for a long time now.
Yeah, and I love that it's like this hybrid laptop tablet. It's just like that perfect. It's small enough to be portable, but also big enough to be and have an attachable keyboard to be a full functional gaming PC, which is so cool because I've never owned a tablet, and there just has not been enough urge to actually go out and get one. Like, I don't know. The tablet is like a very niche thing. Like, definitely businesses use it a lot. Like, if you're like a vendor or something, and you've got to go around and you need something to work on that's portable that you can hold in your hand. But tablet was never super practical to me. I always thought they were really cool. So the fact that basically you can have that tablet but also have the extra incentive of it also being a hybrid to a full laptop and be able to play games, that's way more worth the money to me than like just a tablet. So I always think these hybrids are definitely cool products.
Yeah, and I own a Surface Pro that my work gave me back in the day that they just gave to me for free, which was awesome, but I didn't have any sort of gaming capability on that, but it functions just like my Surface Pro, the touchscreen, detachable keyboard, and whatnot. So it's nice that I kind of just swapped out that for one that I can just game on, which is great.
Yeah. And, I totally forgot these even existed. And then when you told me you bought one, I'm like, oh, yeah, there's these like laptop tablet hybrids.
I didn't know what I I thought I bought a laptop. Like I didn't like realize what I got until like he handed it to me, and I was like, oh, this is like a tablet. It's like I didn't get it until because I'm not familiar with those things being even a thing in general until now. So it's cool. I thought Surface Pros were the only thing that were like this, but this is awesome that they have this that you can game on.
Yeah. And of course, it's the ASUS ROG, the Republic of Gaming, as we talked about on a previous episode, which just released that really cool Steam
Rogue
Deck.
Ally.
Yeah, the ROG Ally, which is basically like a Steam Deck competing product. So, yeah, I mean, it's a well-known brand. I just can't stand their ROG name and branding.
I am now a member of the Republic of Gamers.
Yes, you are. You'll have to carry your membership card with you everywhere you go.
Yeah, it just makes us gamers seem like even bigger nerds than we already are.
Yeah, I mean,
we need to name something a republic. Like, come on,
Republic of Gamers. 'Tis the Republic. All right. Anyway, cool, man. That is definitely a cool purchase, and someday when it's time for me to get a laptop, I'll definitely be looking at these laptop tablet hybrids. Because, yeah, I forgot all about
the
it.
money.
All right, so in the news...
Yeah, this is a big one.
Yes, let me get this article pulled up. Anyway, I don't need to pull the article up. But anyway, Microsoft is discontinuing Games with Gold and Xbox Live Gold. So that's been their branding for their online platform for a long time. And that's how I've always remembered it. If you wanted to play games online on an Xbox, you got a Xbox Live Gold membership. And then after that had been out for several years, they started giving away free games with your Gold membership, and they called that Games with Gold.
Games with Gold. Mm-hmm.
And the cool thing about that was, unlike PlayStation's PlayStation Plus subscription, which also gave away free games, with Games with Gold, even if you canceled your subscription, you got to keep that game. Whereas with PlayStation Plus, as soon as you cancel that subscription, you lost access to any of the free games that you had redeemed. So to me, that was great. Because, hey, 1 month you may not have the money, and you just got to cancel that subscription. I don't want to lose a game because of that. That supposedly was gifted to me. But anyway...
Back then...
Go ahead.
Sorry, back then I was a high school student or a college student, and Xbox Live Gold, my $60 a year, that was a lot for me then. I didn't really have a lot of money, so getting those games with Gold with it to actually have a couple more games in my catalog when a lot of the time all I was playing was Halo, or I didn't have any other games really unless I could beg my parents to, it was a big deal then.
Yeah, and they typically gave away like 2 to 3 games per month, which means you could get like at least a dozen games a year for free. So they started adding the Games with Gold to Xbox Live Gold in 2013. So they've been doing this for 10 years, and it's going to end on September 14th of this year. It's being replaced by Game Pass Core, which is a cheaper version of Game Pass that will also give you access to be able to play online on your Xbox. And it's also going to give you access to a list of about 25 curated games, with new games being added throughout the year. So yeah, it gives you online play, and it gives you a small catalog of games you can play as long as you maintain your subscription. You're no longer keeping these games for free even if you cancel your subscription. And this is going to be $10 a month or $60 a year. So essentially roughly the same price as games or Xbox Live Gold. So to me, it's kind of more like an evolution or a rebrand than a completely different service that they're replacing it with. Me, I prefer... It's nice that you get a list, like an immediate access to a library of 25 games you can play. That's a very good deal. But still, I'm stubborn. I prefer you just give me a game that I get to keep forever. Now, having said that, when they actually end Xbox Live Gold, Microsoft said that you will not be able to keep previously redeemed Xbox One games, but when the subscription ends, or you can keep them as long as you transfer over to a Game Pass Core subscription, but if you don't, you're losing all those Xbox One games. But
yeah, I don't like that move.
Yeah, I don't either. But you will be able to keep the Xbox 360 games that they've given away for free. So I find that interesting that originally it was marketed as, I remember them always saying that this is the games you get for free with this month's Games with Gold that you get to keep forever. Like, that was built into their marketing. But now they're kind of going back on that and saying, well, if it was an Xbox 360 game, you can keep it. But if it's an Xbox One game, you no longer have access to that.
I have seen their Games with Gold lately, and I understand why they're doing it. The Games with Gold that they've been handing out lately are not great titles in the slightest. It's definitely not the ones we're about to go over in the big list that they've gotten some heavy hitters over the years. And lately not so many heavy hitters. I think they're really just trying to push the Game Pass, which is why they're rebranding this into a Game Pass tier.
Yeah, it's possible they knew they were phasing it out, so they stopped getting such an effort to try to get better titles to give away as the free games.
Yep.
But Game Pass is kind of taken off, and that's kind of been their business model that they're going towards. And Game Pass launched in 2017. It's hard to believe that it's already been out for, 6 years? Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And they got multiple tiers of that, so now they're going to have this real basic Game Pass Core that gives you like 25 games. Then they have just regular Game Pass, I guess, that gives you the larger list for Xbox only, plus online play. And then they also have their Game Pass Ultimate, which gives you all the Xbox games for Game Pass, all the PC games for Game Pass, and online play on your Xbox. And then lastly, there's just Game Pass for PC, which just gives you access to the list of games that they offer on PC. But so we thought it'd be cool if we went through the list of all games that have been given away for free during Games with Gold's 10-year run and see what have they given out, what are some of the best games they've given out, because they have given out some heavy hitter games for free that I greatly appreciate. My Xbox 360 hard drive is completely full of all my free games. I got every last one that I ever redeemed installed on my 360 ready to go. And it's a massive library. So that goes back to what we were saying. Like, this was an awesome service that just beefed up your library on your 360 and your Xbox One.
Mm-hmm.
So I got the list pulled up. This is in alphabetical order. And Mitch, I'm on page 1 out of 5.
Yep, I'm taking a look here.
And just out of curiosity, what's the first one on this initial page that stands out to you?
I think you're going to ask me which one is the first one I've played on the list. I've actually played the very first title on the list. Which
what?
Is IDARB.
What is that? Hashtag IDARB? You played that?
I played it, yes.
I don't even know what the hell that is.
I'm trying to remember exactly what it is. It's kind of like a... let me look it up, because I'm going to butcher it, because it's a very weird thing. Let's see, IDARB.
What the heck? It's like some 2D pixel art game?
Yeah, it's like almost... It's almost like basketball. Like you're playing it's like platforming basketball, where you're essentially like throwing, and there may be different modes on this thing. It says it's 8-bit sports and arcade classics. So there must be like different sports you do in 8-bit. And some of them are... It's like I think a big 2v2 thing. You can design your little pixelated character, and then you just play little pixelated sports that they kind of curated.
I see. Yeah, I do see the character creator.
4-on-4 as well. Dude,
you play the weirdest games. I never even knew this thing existed.
I think it was just given away when the games of gold, and it was like a co-op thing you could play online. So I think I had maybe a friend and I just tried it out just like for like 10 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, they gave that away in February of 2015.
Okay.
Interesting.
I think there was a time where I just got an Xbox One and there wasn't a lot to choose from on Xbox One at that point.
Yeah, there really must not have been a lot to choose from.
No.
That is very interesting that you played the very first one on this list.
Yep.
Anyway, some other great ones they've given out are Army of Two and one of the sequels, Army of Two, The Devil's Cartel. Great co-op third-person shooters. I was surprised to see that they'd given out so many Assassin's Creed games. They got Assassin's Creed Chronicles China, India, and Russia, Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed 3, Assassin's Creed 4, Assassin's Creed Rogue, Assassin's Creed Syndicate, Assassin's Creed Revelations. It's like the whole first 8 games of the series they gave away at some point or another.
Those are basically up until you want to stop playing Assassin's Creed, so it's perfect.
All the good ones, man. Yeah, and they gave away Battlefield 1, Battlefield 3, Battlefield Bad Company 2, Bayonetta, which is like one of my favorite games of all time, BioShock Infinite, Borderlands 2, Burnout Paradise, man, Castlevania Lord of the Shadows, Castlevania Lord of the Shadows 2, Castlevania Lord of the Shadows Mirrors of Fate, Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Man, yeah. Crackdown.
Speaking of Crazy Taxi, they gave away Crazy Taxi.
Crisis 3. Dante's Inferno, Dark Souls, Darksiders 1 and 2.
For those of you who have not played Dante's Inferno, please play Dante's Inferno. It is an underrated gem of a game.
Yeah, it is an incredible game. It's totally a ripoff of God of War, but in the best way.
Yep.
And it lived and died on the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. Those are the only 2 consoles you can play it on. No PC port, not released on anything else.
Yeah, they did backwards compatible it to Xbox One, so you can play it on current Xboxes, which is
perfect. Nice. Yeah, so I also see Dead Island, Dead Rising 2, Dead Space. Man, I mean, they were just going all out. Deus Ex Human Revolution, Dirt 3, Dishonored, Disney Epic Mickey 2, The Power of 2, Dragon Age 2.
Dragon Ages, nice.
Let's see here. Earth Defense Force 2017 and Earth Defense Force 2025. That's a lesser known game I recommend to everybody. It's a kind of like a cheap third-person shooter, but it's so much fun. You're just shooting giant insects and alien robots.
That's funny. They do the Earth Defense Force. I think they put 2025 like it was like this like way into the future, and 2025 is quite literally in 2 years.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that the other day. I remember playing Earth Defense Force 2017 in 2007, and now it's way past 2017, and fortunately we did not get invaded by aliens.
Yeah, that's good.
But man, they gave out Fable Anniversary, Fable 3, Far Cry 2, Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, For Honor, Forza Horizon 1 and 2, Motorsport 5 and 6, man, Gears 5, Gears of War 2, Gears of War 3, Gears of War 4, Gears of War Judgment. So they gave away every Gears of War game.
That's amazing.
Grid 2, Halo 3, Halo Reach, Halo Spartan Assault.
Speaking of Spartan Assault.
Yeah, a couple of the Hitman games.
Yeah, that's how I played Spartan Assault. I claimed it on Games of Gold.
Okay. Killer Instinct Classic, Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light, and Lara Croft and the Temple of Osiris. Those are actually really good co-op games. 1,000,001 of the Lego games, Lord of the Shadows, Lost Planet 2 and 3, Mafia 2, Medal of Honor Airborne, Metal Gear Solid 5. I mean, Metro 2033, Metro Last Light. I'm almost done, folks. Don't worry. Monkey Island 2.
Some other ones. Those Metro games, if you've not played Metro 2033 or Last Light, a couple underrated shooters for sure.
Ninja Gaiden, Portal 2, Man,
Outlast, one of my favorite horror games.
the Resident Evil remake. They gave away Resident Evil Code Veronica X, the HD version.
Oh, dang, I bought it.
Looks like they gave it away on September 2021.
Dang.
Do you think you just missed it? Because I'm assuming you had Xbox games with gold.
Yeah, I just missed it.
That's interesting that they gave that one away so recently since that game's so old. Great game, though.
I think I paid $5 for it, so it's okay.
Okay. Saints Row 2, 4, 3. Gotta have basically all the Saints Row games. The original remake of Shadow Warrior. Sleeping Dogs. Sniper Elite. Split Second, SSX, Star Wars Battlefront 2, Star Wars Force Unleashed, Street Fighter, Super Hot, Tekken, a couple of the Tekkens. Let's see. Man, it's just The Walking Dead, The Witcher 2, The Wolf Among Us, bunch of Tom Clancy games, and I'm on the last page now, folks.
I was so happy when they gave away Sunset Overdrive. That's like such a cool game.
Nice. I still need to play that. That looked cool. And Watch Dogs and... Anyway, yeah, just crazy amount of games. Yeah, rest in peace, Games with Gold. I thought that was so cool. I remember when they introduced that. I was like, hell yeah, man. I'll take these free games. You mean...
Is it broke?
At the time, I'm only paying $60 a year to be... I'm already paying it because I'm going to play online games on Xbox 360. And then to make that sweeten that deal even more, you're going to give me like a dozen games and a bunch of them AAA titles. It's a weird world, the evolution of things. Like now it's the Game Pass where it's basically just games on demand, which is also very nice, and I'm very grateful for that. But there's something to be said when somebody just gives you something forever, and you're not just subscribing to it.
And nowadays, like there are a lot of games that have gone free to play, but they lock, stuff behind a battle pass or, Overwatch 2. I'm talking to you. I cannot unlock new characters unless I buy the battle pass, which I think is garbage. You have to wait a full season to then get the next character that was from the previous season. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the games as a service, free-to-play stuff anymore. I'd rather just buy the game, like you said, own it. All features are unlocked.
Yeah, which I think we should talk about that more on the next episode, about ownership when it comes to games. Because like you said, things are really shifting.
Yeah.
Anyway, anything else on this, Mitch?
No, I love my Xbox. Xbox 360 is the best console that's ever lived, and Games with Gold is partly why.
Yes. All right, I think that'll do it for this episode. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. You can catch all our episodes on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. I think last week I said Apple Music, but y'all know what I meant. Anyway, where else can we be found, Mitch?
We're releasing our mixtape after this, so we'll be there too.
Yeah, that's what it is.
You can find us on Twitter at The Hills Are Silent. Instagram is Instagram/Hills Are Silent. TikTok is at The Hills Are Silent Podcast. Or YouTube again is at The Hills Are Silent. I do want to say for Spotify users, we would really appreciate if you give us 5 stars on our podcast. If you're liking what you are hearing, a follow is great too. It really helps the algorithm. We've been growing. We love you for listening. Just want to plug that really quick. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, car troubles, anything, I don't know, just hit us up at our email inbox at hillsarsilent@gmail.com. We will catch you on the next episode.